Remakes and remasters are everywhere, ranging from brilliant to flat out dumb. So what makes the difference? Well, there's an art to it, and some developers get it right while others just miss the mark or overcomplicate things for no reason. First up, let's talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. This game is easily one of the best looking PS4 games out there. It looks great, the lighting is excellent, and the character models still look good. And on PS5, it runs at 60 frames per second in high resolution thanks to the checkerboard rendering it had. Yet for some reason that I can't quite understand, it got a remaster. And it doesn't enhance the game a whole lot. In some ways, the original actually looks better, mostly with the lighting and contrast. If you're new to the game and you own a PS5, the new version might be worth it, but even then, it's a big maybe because you could buy the original version for cheaper. If you already own the PS4 version, the $10 upgrade is a decent deal. Another unnecessary remaster, Dead Rising Deluxe. It faces similar problems. Though it does offer a bigger graphics jump, the remaster that was on PS4 and Xbox One already looked and ran great. The remake, however, didn't change anything to improve the experience. It's just a graphics overhaul. When they announced the remake, I expected them to incorporate features from Dead Rising 2, like combo weapons, something to change up the gameplay and make revisiting the first one worth it. But it didn't happen. It's essentially the same game with some content cut to avoid offending people. I love Dead Rising and Horizon, but these remasters are some of the worst offenders because they are completely useless. Another example that I think falls into the same category is Last of Us Part 1. I had no problem with the remastered PS4 version. It ran at 1800p and 60 frames per second on PS5, which is actually higher resolution than the PS5 version. The PS5 version's graphics are different, but I prefer the original's art style. It embraced being a game rather than chasing realism, a goal that will never be reached in video games. It hasn't even been done in film yet. You need to stop trying it in games. Plus, stylized art often outlasts attempts at realism. Uncharted 2 still looks amazing, along with Gears of War 2. Take a look at Gears of War 2 running on Series X. 4K, 60 frames a second, looks incredible. And the same thing for Final Fantasy XIII. It looks better than Final Fantasy XVI. Now, on a technical level, it's nowhere close. But when it comes to the picture quality and the overall presentation, it looks so much better. It's crystal clear, vibrant. You can see what you're doing in dark sections of the game, something that is impossible in Final Fantasy XVI. So let's talk about some remakes and remasters that were done right. Resident Evil 1 was remade for the GameCube and they kept all the core content intact, added more, and made the game longer and better. This is exactly what you should aim for in a remake. Then they did the same thing with Resident Evil 2, going even further by changing the camera system, updating the game layout, and making the story more cohesive with later entries in the series. But Resident Evil 3, while it plays good and looks great, they cut so much content, and that makes it a bad remake, even though it's still a good game. There is one company out there that consistently nails it, and that is Bluepoint. On PS3, they remastered PS2 classics like Shadow of the Colossus. Then, on PS4, they remade it again, with some of the best visuals on the system while keeping the gameplay intact. Then they pulled off the same magic with Demon's Souls on PS5. The original had poor frame rates, bad image quality, and bugs. Bluepoint remade it 1-to-1, added some subtle extras, and gave it incredible visuals. I think another thing to look at is something like Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a really good game, but at the same time, it's no longer what we had before. They changed the story, which makes it almost more of a sequel than a remake, even though it's called Remake. Personally, I think they should remake the original exactly how the original was. And if you used Unreal Engine 5, Nanite, and Lumen, and created those static backgrounds, you could make some of the most richly detailed backdrops ever in a video game. And then you could place in some high quality character models. And you would have a 1-to-1 recreation of the original Final Fantasy VII with visuals that look better than just about anything that's out there today. I know a lot of people say that's not possible, but it is. All you have to do is go back and look at Resident Evil 1 on GameCube. That game still looks better than most games released now. Because of its design and style, it created something that will stand the test of time. Now I want to hear from you. What are your favorite remakes and remasters? and which ones missed the mark? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time.